Dr. Parikh for Writing with Style, Chapter 8, References section. General word of warning, the librarian will show you how you can auto-generate an APA citation from the library website as you download an article. The website lies. There are some very distinct mistakes it makes. Sometimes it doesn't use initials instead of first and middle names. It alphabetizes, or it capitalizes the first word of every word in the journal title instead of only important words like you would normally for a book title. I just know when a student has copied directly from the library website. But although the library lies, the librarians are ninjas. And so if you're not sure if you're citing correctly, if your reference is correct, you can obviously come to office hours, bring it to class. But if you need something in a pinch, if you need someone to check it or help you decipher, with a special situation, the librarians are so good at APA style. It can be a little tougher with the writing center because, again, many of their tutors are English majors. They're much more familiar with MLA or Chicago or some other style of referencing. So they don't always know APA super duper well. Sometimes there are ones who are more familiar with it. But the librarians are ninjas. They know all of the styles. They can help you look things up. Page 81, Szuchman gives you a lot of really nice word processing hints. Keep in mind, Word changes a lot, and so things aren't always quite where they used to be. I highly recommend Dr. Ling's video series on how to format things. He does use a Mac, so if you're a Windows user, things might be in a slightly different place, but it's still really good because it helps you know what things to look for. And then last but not least, Google is your friend. If you are having issues with almost anything, if you just Google how to double space in APA style, you will get several guides, some with pictures, at least one or two with video. And so when you have weird things that you need to do, Google will almost always come up with a lot of options. And if students email me saying, how do I get such and such to happen? For one, I'm not your IT support, especially not over email. And, if you come into office hours, I'll help you. It's not a big deal. But over email, that's not really what I'm there for. And usually I'll just Google their question in a really basic way and email them back the search results and say, there's several good guides here. So Google is your friend. Use it early, use it often. However, Google Docs may not be your friend so much. Sorry, my phone's ringing. Google Docs systematically doesn't do a few things that it really needs to do well. So if you use Google Docs, we can talk in class about what some of those issues are. You may even be able to just Google, what does Google Docs do wrong with APA style? Let's see, page 82, doing a journal article reference. They say to do the DOI with capital DOI : and then the DOI after. But there's actually an updated, it's a digital object identifier, and we know anything digital changes a lot, changes often, and it's hard to keep up with it in published materials. And so in this case, they've found that the whole point of a DOI is to conveniently be able to get to things. And so they've gone toward just a hyperlink style. So it's http:// DOI.org/ and then the actual DOI. So you want it to be a clickable hyperlink. Page 86 talks about how to cite electronic references. That should always be your very last resort. If it looks like a journal article, you can probably cite it as a journal article. So if you're not sure how to cite something, it's often a good idea to ask somebody, me or a librarian or someone at the Writing Center, somebody, to find out if there's a better way to cite it. And then at the bottom of page 86, it talks about what to do when there are articles that don't have DOIs. You basically find the best way possible to link directly to some way to view the article. Don't use the link that the library gives you, because those links are set up to go through like this proxy. I don't know, they're one-time links. They only work for you when you're logged in that time. Or maybe anytime you're logged in, but they don't typically work for other people. So instead, just do a Google search for that article and then make sure that the link goes directly. Usually it's like purchase this article for a certain amount of money. Never buy an article. The library can get you any article you want. Even if they don't have immediate access, they can typically get it to you within a few days using interlibrary loan. But find somewhere where you could buy it and use that link the way they show you on page 86, the way Szuchman shows you. Page 87, she talks about how to cite in, she says references in the body of the manuscript. I usually use the term citations for things that are going on where you're like, Smith and Jones, 2010. So that's how I differentiate. If I say citation, I mean in text. If I say reference, I mean the full reference at the end of the paper. But she talks about how you should typically include the author's names at the end instead of using their names in the sentence. And quite honestly, I don't really care that much. If anything, I tend to lean more toward using the author's names. But I get what she's saying. I understand, because she's trying to get you to emphasize the ideas more than just sort of serial content. But I don't mind if you use the author's names in the sentence. Just make sure that if you're doing that, you're using the word and instead of an ampersand. Let me see. Page 89, the DSM. She talks about the 4th edition. It is now the 5th edition. I would just Google citation for DSM if you're citing it. And that's it. Gotta go call my husband back now. Thanks. Bye-bye.